Hello everyone and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Matt, and in today's video I'm gonna be taking you through an average day of taking care of my plants. I have about 100+ plants which require a lot of care, and a lot of my time goes into caring for my plants. The sun is out in full blast. It's a beautiful day and I love the winter sun because it's lower in the sky, so it goes more into the room, which I love, and it creates these really lovely sunbeams. So I decided that it would be such a great day for some cozy, relaxing plant care. We have some repotting to do, we have some chopping to do, we have some watering to do, so basically just a little bit of everything. If that sounds good to you, grab yourself a cozy little beverage, snack, or maybe some chores of your own, and let's do them together. For the first chore of the day, I think we're gonna be doing some repotting because I have a couple of plants that I needed to repot for quite some time now. So I think I'm gonna do those because I love to repot. It's my favorite chore. So yeah, let's go ahead and get set up for the repot session. I have 3 victims today. So first off, we have my Rhaphidophora decursiva. As you can see, she is at the top of her moss pole. So what I want to do is chop her up and get her started on one of these bigger plastic moss poles, because right now she's just on this tiny little small one, which ain't doing much for them. I only have like a couple of these small ones and I don't really like them, but they're fine for like small plants or plants that are very slow climbers, but this thing grows like a beast, so she definitely needs an upgrade. Next up, we have my beloved, my lovely Anthurium Wendlingeri, and she is looking gorgeous, but she does need some new plants. As you can see, she is quite root bound. Now, this plant is still working on hardening off this newest leaf, so we will be gentle with her. I'm pretty sure this will be a very easy up pot where we're just gonna take her and plop her into a new pot and fill her up with some new fresh soil, so it's not gonna be anything invasive, hopefully. And lastly, we have my Enjoy Pothos. Now, realistically, this actually does not need a repot. So back when I first started getting into poles, I used to make my own DIY wire poles. However, I strayed away from those since, and I started using the plastic closed back poles. I really like those a lot more. And this one is on a combination of the wire pole and the plastic closed back pole. However, she climbed far enough on the plastic closed back pole, so I basically just want to chop her and get her going from this point onwards, because having these 2 poles that are completely different is honestly a little bit of a safety hazard, because this thing likes to, first of all, tip over, and second of all, when watering or when trying to hydrate the moss pole, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. So I'm just gonna try to chop it, convert it to so it's just on a regular closed back moss pole. So yeah, those are our victims. And I think we're gonna start off with the Anthurium because that one seems to be the easiest. Just gonna put these gals to the side and we will get going momentarily. Now I have a 17 centimeter pot. She's currently in a 12 centimeter pot, so I think this will be like a good size up. Because Anthuriums have like very robust, chunky roots, I find that a bigger upsize is completely fine and they can take it. And actually I feel like my Anthuriums thrive when they actually have a lot of room to expand. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and get started. Now this is gonna be a tricky one because the stem of this plant is so tiny and I don't really want to pull too much because obviously I don't want to damage the plant. But oh, okay, she's coming out, she's coming out. Yes, her roots are absolutely stunning. As you can see, I don't want to get soil everywhere, but the roots are beautiful, and that's what we like to see. Like I said, I'm not gonna mess too much with it. I just want to kind of maybe break it up a little bit, and not do anything too crazy, because this plant hasn't grown for me in such a long time. And it finally pushed out that new leaf, so I really don't want it to go into shock or anything. But the good thing is that I really don't see any signs of root rot or anything. Well, there are some dry roots up at the top, so I'm just gonna go ahead and remove those. Basically anything that looks like this, dried up, shriveled, gray, those roots aren't serving the plant. No, they're most likely not gonna harm it. However, since I am already here and these are coming off very easily, I might as well just get them out of the way, because they're really not doing anything for the plant. And it's only honestly at the top of the plant, so those are probably just some old roots. Now, I will say that just because you find like old dead roots in your soil, that's not a cause for concern, because just like leaves and just like plants in general, roots also can die back. They can basically die like a regular leaf. So the older roots with time will actually, die and not be useful for the plant. But they're not, usually these kind of roots don't cause major issues. However, just like with leaves, if you can remove them, it's better to, but it's not a must, and it's not like a root rot situation where you really have to get in there and get all of it off. It's just like if you see some dead roots while repotting and you're able to remove them without doing too much damage to the plant, I suggest you do that, because it'll just make your life a little bit easier. But yeah, this is basically all I'm gonna do. She has a gorgeous little root system. Might be even a bit small for this pot, but honestly, I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit, and I am gonna be reusing this soil because soil is expensive, and this is actually good soil. This is Monstera and Philodendron soil from Soil Ninja. So I love their stuff. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick out any of the fallen roots, just so we're not putting those back into the pot. But even if you do end up with some broken roots in the substrate, it really shouldn't cause too much damage. As long as the majority of the roots is nice and healthy, it really shouldn't be much of a problem. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that back in there. So how have you guys been? The new year started. We are done with Christmas and with New Year, and honestly, I could not be more thrilled, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not really a festive person, and I, on the whole, don't really like Christmas or New Year. It's one of the most depressing and hard times for me, and yeah, I'm kind of glad it's over. I am not gonna even lie. Okay, I need my soul scoop. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I am back. I got myself my soul scoop, and I am using this is the Anthurium and Orchid mix from Soil Ninja, but I also mixed in some tree fern fiber in there. I have been loving tree fern fiber lately, especially for rooting and for Hoyas. It has been really good. So I am curious to play with it more. However, it is expensive. It is crazy expensive. But oh Jesus, okay. Thought I broke the plant. But I do feel like it's worth it. I do feel like it's worth it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and basically backfill. Nothing special. But yeah, I am kind of glad that the winter or the Christmas season is over. I don't know, I feel like growing up, you know, I didn't have the best childhood, and there was a lot of like family drama always around Christmas time, and I was never looking forward to Christmas for that reason as a child. And then when I got to be an adult, it's just, honestly, it's all just a little bit too much for me. The theater, the stress, I don't know. I feel like it's a lot. It's a lot, and I get overwhelmed very easily by just stressful situations, by a lot of people. I mean, Christmas gift shopping. I am not a gift giver, y'all. I am not good at picking out presents. It's the worst thing for me ever, because I don't know what people want or need, and I ask them, and it's always like, I don't need anything, and that doesn't help me. And I understand that, like, it doesn't need to be like, it's not about the gift itself, it's just about the gesture, right? But I just get so freaking stressed out with gifts, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that's over with, because it just stresses me out, man, and I am not here for it. But yeah, it's just not a fun time for me. She is done. Inferium Wendelingeri. She's all potted up, looking gorgeous, and hopefully she'll have a good time in her new pants. So let's go ahead and put her to the side. Actually, I'm gonna put her on the floor, so I have more space. But yeah, I'm just not the best at giving gifts and figuring out what to buy for people, so that's stressful. And then a couple of years ago, we actually had a pretty dreadful earthquake around Christmas time, which was horrible, and I still have like trauma from that. And on top of that, literally the day after Christmas, 2 of my fishies died, which was very, very sad. And yeah, they were just sick for quite a bit of time, and you know, they stopped eating, and it was just very sad. And I understand that fish are just at the bottom of the food chain, and unfortunately their whole systems they're not meant to, you know, live for years and years and years. I understand that, but it's just still so sad. I came to the conclusion that the fish keeping hobby, I'm pretty new at it. And I came to the conclusion that it may not be for me, because I'm a sensitive soul and I don't like when things die. So that was quite a bummer. But yeah, other than that, I'm just not a Christmas or New Year or festive kind of person. Like, I don't even celebrate my birthday. I'm just not into that kind of stuff. I just want to have like a low-key, chill time, relax. Like, that's all. I mean, we don't do much for Christmas, but it still gets overwhelming for some reason. So, yeah, I wonder, like, how do you guys cope with like Christmas? Do you get easily overwhelmed? I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, that's another thing. I feel like this is such a jolly good time, and then I also feel a little bit guilty for kind of being, you know, the Grinch and the one that's not having fun, which obviously I shouldn't feel that way, because it's just, you know, my feelings are valid, and it's okay that I'm not head over heels in love with Christmas. But it is a little bit weird being, you know, the odd one out and being the one that's like, no, I just want this to be over, when other people are thoroughly enjoying themselves, which I don't want to take away anybody's enjoyment. Obviously, if you love Christmas, go ahead, freaking enjoy it, celebrate it. For me personally, that's probably the most depressing time of my years. So I just can't wait to get it over with. I am blabbering. I'm sorry. I'm in a blabbery mood. But yeah, I'm looking at this plant, and I need to cut her. I need to cut her. I need to make a choice, and I'm not sure where to cut her, so I'm a little bit scared. I'm a little bit scared. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and actually remove her from the moss pole. Now, the neat thing about this moss pole is that it's one of those front opening moss poles, which means that I can just unbuckle it and remove the plant, which is very nice. Even though I do feel like this whole unbuckling thing, it's definitely useful, but it's not that easy. Like, it's not that easy, so I don't know where to even start or how to do it. Jesus Christ, okay. Yeah, this is definitely a lot harder than I thought it would be. So maybe, should I just chop? I don't know what to do with this plant, y'all. Okay, this will take me some time. Oh, maybe I could just, can I just remove this part from the pole? Oh God, am I gonna break the plant? There is a high possibility that I will break the plant, but hopefully not. Oh, come on. The freaking buckles don't want to unbuckle, and it is annoying me. I'm getting seriously so annoyed at the freaking buckles. There we go. Okay, we have one open. We have, where's the other one? Oh no, this one is hidden all the way back here. Crap doodle. I don't think I'll be able to get that one. If I could only get this one over here. And I realize that you can't see crap, and I'm so sorry. But these buckles are pissing me off. Oh, my Lord, my Mary, my Jesus, have mercy on me. Thank you. Okay. Okay, I managed to unbuckle part of the plant, so I think I'm just gonna try. Oh, and remove it? I don't know. I don't know how this works. I wish I could unbuckle. I still have a couple of buckles, but this one is gonna be hard to do. This one's gonna be hard to do. If I could get this one. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're making progress. We're making some sort of progress. I think only one more buckle to go. Come on, you little piece of shit. I think this is fine. So I unbuckled the top portion of this plant, and I will chop. I'm gonna chop, and where I will chop, I have no idea. I think this might be a good spot to chop. Is this a mistake? Is this a mistake? This plant is so bushy, I can't even tell what is what. You know what? I'm just gonna chop it. I'm not gonna even worry about it. I'm just gonna chop away, and then we will deal with the consequences later. How about that? Okay, there we go. I chopped it in these two places. So now I have to somehow remove it. Oh, hopefully this will be easy. Oh God, this is so well rooted into this moss. Jesus Christ. Come on now, don't be so difficult. Oh God, I'm gonna be breaking all of these roots, aren't I? And I need those roots. I need those roots for the new plant. Come on. Jesus Christ, this is so rooted into this pole. Well, I broke some roots, safe to say, but I think there is still quite a bit of a root system, so I think we should be fine. I don't like moss, Jesus. The entanglement and these roots are like, do you see how tightly wrapped around the moss those roots are? This will take me forever. Yeah, this will take me forever. In some more positive news though, since I have been kind of down and depresso, I actually managed to catch up on some shows, which is very, very fun. I watched the new season of Squid Game, which was really, really good, actually, surprisingly good. I was one of those people that honestly didn't really like the first season. Like, I don't know, I like the concept of it. I really love the concept of it, but I could not connect with any of the characters, and I did not care about any of them in particular. In particular, the main character, I'm like, why would I care if he lived or died? He is literally a deadbeat dad, a good-for-nothing son, and I'm like, I do not care what happens to him. I know that sounds so that might sound a little bit harsh, but I just did not care about his well-being. I really didn't. So I don't know. And the fact that they brought him back in season 2, I'm just like, couldn't he like have gone away? And I mean, I think it would have been better if we started with like a new cast or something like that. I mean, there are obviously a lot of new cast members, which are amazing. I'm not gonna like spoil anything, but I definitely like this cast better than I did the season 1 cast. I think they're a lot more, I think they're just better characters, and I like the different perspectives a lot more. Okay, this moss is super dry, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and get it a little bit wet. Maybe that will help. Maybe, hopefully. So I got the moss wet, so hopefully that will help me get it off easier, because dear Lord, this is a pain. This is a pain. I do not like removing moss roots or roots from moss, and it's so hard to tell like what's moss and what's roots. But yeah, I really enjoyed the second season of Squid Game, and I also watched what's it called, No Good Deed on Netflix. It was really freaking good. I love it. I love shows like that. It's very Desperate Housewives-y, mystery, kind of suburban neighborhood vibes, and I love that kind of content or that kind of show, like Desperate Housewives. Here's a little bit of a lore about me. Desperate Housewives is my favorite, all-time favorite show. I know that sounds very funny, but I watched that show. I watched all 8 seasons of that show at least a couple of times, like at least 5 or 6 times, and I freaking love that show. I know pretty much every scene by heart. I pretty much know the whole script by heart. I know which scenes are gonna make me cry, and they always make me cry, no matter. Okay, I don't know, like if any of y'all watch Desperate Housewives, but the tornado episode and the one where Gabby loses her adopted child, those 2 episodes always just they destroy me. Oh, and the one where, well, is it a spoiler if it's like an older show? I guess it happens in the last season, so I'm not gonna say what happens, but a certain character dies and I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, I absolutely love Desperate Housewives. I could literally talk about Desperate Housewives for hours, but I'm not going to, okay? I'm not going to. But yeah, I wasn't motivated to do anything else, so watching shows is usually what I resort to when I am kind of feeling down or feeling not motivated to do other kind of stuff. So yeah, that has been a fun little time. This is ridiculous. I am honestly contemplating on just chopping this whole root system off and rerooting it, because this is ridiculous. I'm not gonna make you guys sit through this and watch this for hours and hours, because that's probably how long it will take. So I will just cut here and cut back once I'm done with this bullshit. Okay, I lost my nerves with this one. So this is the best I can do. There's still quite a bit of sphagnum on here, but honestly, I don't even care. This is a resilient plant, and if it rots, it rots. I still have backups. I still have the mother plant, so I'm not too worried about it. I don't want to deal with this anymore. This has been painful. This has been painful, so I just want to put this on a new moss pole, and I think I'm gonna just keep these two. I do have this leftover, which I will probably honestly just pot up back into my mother plant. So I think that's what I'm gonna do with that one. But I will use these two vines as my new like main moss pole plant. Oh, that was exhausting. That was exhausting, y'all. I am tired. I'm ready for a nap. Sometimes, you know, I love plant chores. I really do. But good God, sometimes they take everything out of you. Oh God. Okay, so I have my Monstera and Philodendron mix from Soil Ninja over here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use that one because that's what this plant was in. And conveniently, I actually do have already a made up moss pole. So that is great because if I had to also make a moss pole after all of that, I would have probably lost my mind. I do still have to do that and join moss pole. And honestly, I am not looking forward to that one right now because after battling with all of these roots, I'm scared. I'm scared, y'all, okay? Because these two plants are heavy rooters because they really love to root into the substrate or into the moss pole, which is obviously great. It's obviously great, but it can also cause a lot of headaches. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put the moss pole down, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just put some soil down, just so that the roots aren't sitting at the bottom of the pot, because the bottom of the pot is the portion that stays moist the longest. Actually, I need to use my hand because this pot is too small. And if you have the roots sitting in the moistest part of the pot, there is a higher chance of developing root rot. I don't know, there is a term for it. I think it's water table, something like that. It's the same thing in nature where water, like, it evaporates in the like top few inches of the soil, but then like stays more saturated at the bottom. Basically, the same thing happens with our pots, where this area will stay a lot more saturated, or saturated for a longer time than this area up here. So when you pot up your plants, you want your roots to be kind of in that upper 2/3 of the pot and not in the lower 2/3, because that can cause root rot issues. So yeah, just something to be mindful of. But of course, it's not like a death sentence. It's just one of those things that's like, it's good if you can manage to, okay, I actually have a lot of roots here. And I think I'm gonna chop some of them. Because like these roots down here, those will go into the pot, but these up here are serving me not at all. So I'm just gonna chop it, and yeah, I'm just gonna chop it. I don't care. I can't deal with all these roots. I will keep these ones up here. Those are nice and juicy and new, and those will still probably, actually I'm gonna cut this one off because it looks a little sludgy. Those will definitely root into the moss pole. Now this is a very small root system compared to what she had before, but again, this is a very resilient plant. It's one of my hardiest plants, I would say. So I have, like, there is no doubt in my mind that this plant will be absolutely fine with this setup. So I'm just gonna go ahead and backfill it, and I am gonna use my hand for this one because it is such a small freaking pot. And actually I'm gonna reuse some of this soil over here. Oh God, okay, this was a journey. This was a adventure. This was a chore. I did not expect this to be so hard. I thought this would be easy peasy lemon squeezy. And I was looking at the roots and I was like, oh great, she has so many roots in the moss pole, she'll be completely fine. Well, sometimes having too many roots in the moss pole can obviously be a bad thing. So yeah, let's go ahead and backfill her and make her all nice and snug and tight. and then we can move on to our last repotting chore, and then hopefully the rest of the day will be actually more relaxing and cozy like I imagined it to be. But yeah, there we go. There we go. She is done. She is done. She is in her new pants, and now she has lots of room to climb and get nice and big, which I am very, very excited about. Obviously, this like part over here is a lot thicker. It's a lot bigger already than this part over here. But I do like to have at least 2 vines in my moss pole. I think it just makes it look a little bit more lush and full, but you don't want to go overboard, especially like on a big plant like this, because big plants need a lot of nutrients and I don't want them to fight for nutrients. So yeah, that is my decursiva. Oh, y'all, this was a challenge, okay? This was a challenge that I did not sign up for, and honestly, I will probably get rid of this moss because there are so many roots in here. Like I'm not gonna go through this moss and like pick out, or you know what, I'm probably just gonna use that same moss to fill up the top of the moss pole, because then if something like even rots, it's not like too big of an issue. But I basically I don't want to put it back into my moss pole bin. That is what I'm saying. This I will deal with later on off camera because I cannot be bothered, but basically I'm just going to take this section and pot it up with my mother plant, which is above me at the current time. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that to the side. Oh, and we're going to move on to this buddy. Going to move on to my Enjoy, which I also need to cut, and I also need to remove from the moss pole. I'm having a headache. This is crazy. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this one. I don't know, wait. So we have this little vine over here that's not doing nothing. And then these 2 are the main vines. Okay, so I'm gonna cut here. Oh, Jesus. Cut here, and I'm gonna cut here. Well, this might be a bit of a challenge. This might be a bit of a challenge. Maybe can I just like pull it out, please? Can I just pull you out with the roots? That will be lovely. That will be stunning. That will be sexy of you. That will be so beautiful. But I doubt that will happen, because why would it be easy if it can be difficult? Am I right? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, this is not good. This is not good. I don't know why. See, this is why, if you watched my recent like goals for 2020 or plenty goals for 2025 video, okay, so we're not doing that. We're definitely not doing that. Yeah, if you watched my plenty goals for 2025 video, you will know that one of my goals is to reevaluate some plants on moss poles because of this reason, because moss poles are hard to deal with. So I need to figure out a plan on how to deal with this. So, okay, so basically what I did, I just cut up this metal wire pole. Oh, now I don't know what the next step will be, but at least I got this upper portion of the plant that I wanted. And I don't know, I can't remove this. I cannot, there is no way I can remove this. Oh God, okay. So I think I'm just gonna plant it like this. Basically, there is still a lot of the wire meshing in here, but I don't think there is a way for me to remove it without damaging the plant even further, which is not something I want to do. And also this moss is also dry. Holy cow, why are all my moss poles dry? Actually, I know why all my moss poles are dry. It's because when they're this tall, it's hard to keep the whole thing moist, and it's annoying. Oh God, but that's okay, that's okay. I hope your plant chores, if you're doing them, are going a lot more smooth than mine. I truly did not expect I truly did not expect this to turn out this way, so... But I guess that's just life, you know, we have to accept that not everything works out, and sometimes you just have to go through the struggles and the fails, and I guess that's a good reminder that not everything is easy. And if everything in life was always easy and cheerful and happy, then nothing would be cheerful and happy, because you need to go through struggles and hard times in order to appreciate the rough, or in order to appreciate the happy, the good, the joyful times, because, you know, and obviously this is just dumb little plant chores like this is nothing like horribly awful or whatever, but yeah, just a nice little metaphor to remind you that it is okay to struggle, and it is okay to not always succeed 100% at everything you do. So I am skeptical. I don't know if this plant will do well. I'm not gonna even lie. I'm not gonna even lie to you, but we'll see. We'll see if she does. If she survives, she survives. If she doesn't, I still have a backup. I still have the original mother plant, so I'm not too worried. But yeah, I think I'll just pot this up like this, and then once I actually do the extension for this one, then I will be able to completely move her onto the plastic moss pole. And I still think this will be a lot better than it was before, where it was so much of the wire mesh pole and then the plastic one on top. I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind, I'm losing my train of thoughts. I didn't expect this to be so hard. I actually need to remove some of these bottom leaves so we can fit into the pot, which is fine because they aren't actually, can I remove? I'll remove this browning one. I don't care for it that much. Okay, yeah, this will work. This will work. This will work. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill the moss pole like so. Fill. Alrighty, there we go. The moss pole is done, and then I'm gonna go ahead and boop, tip it over and backfill it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Oh, I have to use my hand again because this scoop is way too big. I mean, it wasn't easy peasy lemon squeezy. What am I talking about? But at least it's done, and at least it's one step closer to me getting rid of all of my wire moss poles, because that is something that I definitely want to do in 2025. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with using wire moss poles. They're fine. They work great. However, I find that, first of all, they definitely dry out a lot faster than like these closed back moss poles. And honestly, I just find that these closed back moss poles look a lot prettier in my space, and they feel a lot more sturdy. The wire ones, oh my god, after like one extension, they feel so wobbly, and oh, I don't know. I just don't like how wobbly and unstable they are. So for that reason, I definitely think I prefer the closed back ones. And also the closed back ones, like, they do the water beading a lot less. You know, when you have like a moss pole that's been pretty dry, and then when you water it, it like starts to bead on the sides, and I freaking hate that. I freaking hate that so much. I'm actually trying out a new watering system, because if you didn't know, basically how I water my moss poles is I have a little cup with a hole at the bottom, and I just put water in the cup and it slowly waters it. However, it still does the beading thing. So I have actually been thinking of putting like one of those like water wicks at the bottom of the cups, so that maybe I can avoid that issue. We'll see. But she is done, and I'm also done, and we did the repot section. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up, because I just created a whole ass mess. And then we will continue with probably watering. I think I'm gonna water next, see who needs some help, see who needs some assistance, and I will be right back. I just finished cleaning up the mess that I made with that repot. There was a lot of mess, but it's nice and clean now. The plants are repotted. I'm happy, and we can move on to the next task, which is watering and checking which of my plants need water. I actually have a lot of propagations that are drying out like hotcakes. This is my Hoya lacanosa white pearl. I will just give her a little splash. Now I will need to repot a lot of these tiny Hoyas soon because, like I said, they are drying out quite fast. This is my Walliniana UT15 something. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, I need to repot these Hoyas pretty soon because, first of all, they are mostly in moss, and I don't want the same situation to happen that happened with the moss poles, because as you saw, removing roots from moss is quite difficult, in particular on Hoyas that have very delicate, tiny roots. This is my Hoya Thompsonia. He's such a cutie. I cannot wait for this plant to grow. It is so nice and fuzzy. I love this plant. Freaking fungus gnat. I definitely need to repot these in the next couple of weeks. I need to order some more pots because I don't have like a lot of small pots, and I have some pots that I have, or I have a pot size in mind for those. Do I have an example? I do actually have an example. Oh Jesus Christ. What is this called? My Hoya caudata Sumatra. She is in a 10 centimeter pot, and I think these are super, super perfect for these small Hoyas. Oh, I love this plant. I love this plant so much. A fuzzy Hoya just gets me. Like, if y'all have any recommendations for like fuzzy Hoyas, please leave them in the comment section below because I freaking love fuzzy Hoyas. This one actually needs water as well, but I am going to be watering this one at the sink because the cover pot that she's in has a little drainage hole, so I don't want to make a mess on here, but I'll just put her to the side so I remember to actually go ahead and water her. I will definitely need to repot these plants ASAP. I have a silver dollar, which is the one for my friends, so I am gonna water her a little bit. This one has a saucer, so I can water it in place. Now, usually, I don't often water in place, but I don't know, sometimes the vibes are just correct, and sometimes I just want to water in plant. Sometimes I just want to water in place. This is the mother enjoy plant, actually. So this is where that moss pole one came from, and I didn't show you, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I put it up there, but I potted actually, let me just get it. Why am I not showing you things? So basically what I've done is I removed the bottom portion, or I removed the pole from the bottom section of that moss pole plant, and I potted it up into a little hanging planter. So now I have, or into like a trailing setup. So now I have another trailing Enjoy Pothos, and I'm just gonna put that one up on my other smaller Vitio shelf setup. And that area doesn't get a lot of light. So I don't know, it'll just be survival of the fittest, which I honestly don't mind because like I have so many of these, so if one croaks, I'm fine with that. Like if it can be up there for a while and serve as kind of like cute decoration, I'm okay with that. I am perfectly okay with that. Here we have my cutting of the silver dollar Hoya, and look at how well she is rooting. This Hoya is such a fabulous rooter. I cannot wait for this to start growing for me because I will literally die. And also my plan for most of these Hoyas is to put them on that window over there that you can kind of see. That one is a west-facing window, and it's a small window, so like I can't put big plants on there, but like small Hoyas would be perfect for it. But it is west-facing, so during the summer times it gets blasted by sun. Like it gets direct sun from like 3:30 to like 8 in the afternoon, so, or in the evening. So it is a great spot for my Hoyas, and hopefully I can get some to sun stress and also bloom. Speaking of sun stressing Hoya, my New Guinea ghost, okay, she's perking. I underwater this thing so badly. I didn't realize it, because see, that's another reason why I have to repot these plants, because they're in these tiny ass containers. Do you see how freaking tiny that is? It's so tiny, and I cannot keep up with the watering, and then I forget. And then yesterday I was literally just like, you know, checking my plants, and I saw that this one was wrinkly. Okay, she was near death. So I was like, oh no. But thankfully she perked back up. I would be devastated if I lost this plant, because this was such a big wish list plant for me. But yeah, I need to get on top of the moss poles, or of the Hoya situation. I am struggling today. I am struggling so much today. And I think the reason why, I'm just checking for roots. I think the reason why I'm struggling today is because I've just been feeling like down lately. And yesterday I either had like an anxiety attack or a panic attack. I'm not sure. I think it was more of an anxiety attack. But basically, I just had a hard time breathing. My whole body was trembling. My hands were like super shaky, and it was not a fun time. So basically, yesterday, I don't know, for a couple of days now, I'm not capable of doing anything. So I thought today would be a fun day to just film. Maybe that would like kind of relax me a little bit, but I'm struggling. I mean, I love to film. It's one of my favorite things to do nowadays. I love talking to you guys. It makes me like, you're basically my therapy. And first of all, I have to say thank you for even listening to this, because I don't even know if this is remotely interesting, but yeah, I just feel like this is my kind of little therapy session, my little venting session where I can talk to you guys, and it feels nice. But yeah. Anyway, this is my Majestic, and I was just checking for roots, but I'm not seeing any. But she has crazy aerial roots, because she does live under this cloche, and she will continue to live under this cloche until I see a good, robust root system. Oh my God, look at this leaf. I haven't even seen this leaf. Look at this freaking leaf. This is my variegated Maranta, and I love when they get, mine is not a super variegated specimen, but I love when they get these white spots or the white variegation over the dark spots, because then those dark spots turn pink, like you can see it over here as well. And it is so stunning. I wish the whole plant was like this, but this is seriously one of my easiest going plants, and she is rooted like cray. I will actually have to repot her soon as well. She feels a little bit moist, but you know what? I will give her a little bit of water, because it is a Maranta, so they love to stay moist. They love to stay moist. Also, accidentally knocked a piece from this plant off, so I have it rooting in some tree fern fiber, and I can see some roots already forming. I'm telling you, tree fern fiber is the shit. It is, I love it. I love it so much. Since it is so top heavy, this plant or this propagation loves to fall over. So yeah, but she's watered, so I don't need to do anything to her. My Pallidiflorum, I watered her yesterday, and she is working on a new leaf. It's a little bit janky looking, but it is the first leaf in my care, and this is still like a baby, so I don't expect much from her. Now, my Bassier F Papillamum hybrid is not looking too hot. It's not looking too hot. It pretty much tanked after the repot. However, I see a healthy new root here, which is honestly all I care about, as long as, like, there are definitely some like dying roots in here, but oh, there's another one over here. As long as I see some healthy roots with anthuriums, I am not too worried. But yeah, hopefully come springtime she will make a comeback, because her leaves were really beautiful. But I do know that the Bessier F can be a little bit more finicky. I don't know about the Papillanum, but the Bessier F I do know is a little bit of a diva. It's a little bit of a diva. Another plant that is rooting in tree fern fiber and has lovely little roots is my Burley Marks Monstera, and she actually does have a new life on the way, which is so precious. Again, I am keeping this one under a cloche, and she will stay under that cloche until she has a robust root system, and then I will move her probably in the springtime to her permanent setup, and I will be putting her on a moss pole for sure, because I want those lobster claw leaves. Oy, okay, let's move over to this section. Oh, my compacta is actually working on some new leaves, which is stunning, because this plant hasn't been growing a lot lately, and she's still a little baby. I will give her a little bit of water. Oh God, okay. I'm just giving them a little bit of sip. Like I said, I'm just too lazy to take them to the actual sink, so I'm doing it this way. My Croniana cutting. This is my Croniana Super Silver, the cutting from the plant that is dying over here, but I don't see... Oh, actually I do see roots. I do see some roots. I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but there is a cutie patootie little root, so that is stunning. I expected that this little section would make it. However, this one, I don't think, y'all, I don't think there is any saving this one. It's so wrinkly. It's so dry looking. Yeah, I don't think this one, I think this one will be meeting her creator soon, unfortunately. Also, she is dropping leaves like hotcakes. So let me just go ahead and remove those. My little Friedeck corms, they have water, don't they? I know I showed this plant in the updates video recently, but it's so pretty. I just wanna take a little nibble out of it because it's so stunning. It's so gorgeous. Let's see, what else do we have here? This is, if you remember, I had a Hoya australis that lived up there on my Vitsio shelf in my plant tour. I showed it, and I don't particularly care for this plant, but I chopped it up and I have been trying to root it since, but yeah, I don't think, as you can see, I don't think it's going well, and I am just rooting it as, oh no, I see some roots. So I guess she must have taken, interesting. I'm just trying to root this in soil. This is not a Hoya that I particularly love, so I just want to experiment with it. If I lose it, I wouldn't be like devastated. And if I want to get it again, it's widely available, so I'm not worried about it. But if I lost it, I don't think I will get that Hoya again. I don't know. It's nothing special, honestly, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, we'll see. If she makes it, I'll keep her. But if she doesn't, I wouldn't be too upset. Let's just say that. Okay, she needs a little bit of water. This is my nearly black Scindapsus, lovely little gal. It's just been kind of a hard couple of days and weeks, and I am over winter. I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. I'm looking forward to spring. I'm looking forward to nicer weather. Luckily today, or like the past couple of days, it's actually been quite nice and sunny, so that has definitely cheered me up a little bit, but I'm just ready for spring. However, of course, we won't have like a proper spring because a proper spring doesn't exist since we live in the world of extreme climate change. So it's probably gonna just go straight into summer. Yeah, it is what it is, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just been kind of tough, and honestly, I have also been feeling very burnt out from my work. Like, we had the project that I was leading actually got put on hold, which is not fun, and now I have to do something else, which I'm just not interested in. It doesn't bring me, I mean, I've been at this company for almost 7 years, so not a lot of things there bring me joy. I'm just kind of over it, so I just kind of do my job. I still do like a good job, but it's just like, I don't know, it doesn't fulfill me pretty much in any sort of way. So yeah, I have to basically just find fulfillment outside of work, but it's hard when you spend like 8 hours a day doing something that gives you basically nothing. So yeah, it's just kind of hard, and I think a lot of people can actually relate to that. Unfortunately, that's really sad because I don't know, that's such a big chunk of your life that you spend at work, and you should really be able to enjoy your work and put your best into your work. But unfortunately, it is what it is, and we have to still pay our bills and keep a roof over our heads. So yeah, sometimes we just gotta do the things we gotta do. Alrighty, so over in this section, we have Hoya Comingiana, little cutie. I actually potted her up in a mixture. Oh, I see some roots, lovely. I potted her up in a mixture of tree fern fiber and pon, another little new experiment. Basically, lately I have been really into just experimenting with my plants and trying out new stuff that I wouldn't usually try. So I'm happy that my experiments are succeeding. This is a stump of my Scindapsus platinum. I actually chopped it up and I put the 2 cuttings into my prop box because I really want to have a more bushy plant of this. And I find that Scindapsus honestly are kind of hard to root for some reason. And I have some Scindapsus, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, probably not, but I have my Scindapsus exotic, I think, here. Do you see it? Do you see it? But I took some cuttings of that plant and they're not doing great. I put them in some like sphagnum moss, and yeah, I don't think they're rooting very well. So I don't know. We'll see if that will make it. I am kind of doubtful. I'm just checking my semi-hydro plants. They're looking good. But yeah, for some reason, Scindapsuses I find are hard to root. So I put those in my prop box, in my perlite prop box, because I feel like that perlite prop box is seriously just magical for rooting plants. So hopefully it will work. Oh, another plant that I actually have rooting in moss, which actually seems like it perked up a little bit. So that's great. This is a cutting from my Monstera Standeliana albo, and I put 1 cutting or 2 cuttings into like this moss bark substrate. God, I cannot talk. And another 2 cuttings I put into the prop box, and the one in the prop box already have like nice juicy roots, and this one is just looking very floppy and sad. However, this section over here actually feels a little bit better, and it used to be floppy the same way this one was, so I would assume that this has some roots by now, so that's great. My goal with this plant, I think I want to restart my Standeliana. Right now it's on one of those wire poles, and like I said, I just want to restart it and make it look nice and pretty. So I think that's gonna be a plant. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the mother plant because the mother plant is pretty big and gorgeous. So we will see what her destiny will be. That's gonna be a whole video in its own probably, because good God, dealing with big moss poles is a challenge. Look at these roots. I seriously freaking love semi-hydro. It's been one of my latest obsessions, and I'm just like, I want to move my whole collection to semi-hydro because I find it so much better. And like, look at this. This is my, what are you called again, honey? Alocasia Black Velvet. And she is pushing out this giant leaf. Like, I could never get this kind of leaf in soil. Like, this is insanity. This is freaking insanity, and I love it. Something is poking me in the head, and it is this freaking Hoya that's, no, I hate when they do this. I hate when they put out these horribly long vines. Wait, is that, oh, no, okay, no. I thought it had a bloom. I thought it had a bloom, but it is just false alarm. Unfortunately, I would love if this girl bloomed for me. Oh God, you're heavy. This is my Hoya Crimson Queen. I am so sorry. My brain is a mess, and she is not blooming, unfortunately. Do you need water? Do you need water, girl? I'll give you a little sippy sip. I'll give you a little sippy sip. Honestly, these bushy Hoyas are so hard to water because, especially since they have this kind of leaf shape, I feel like the water just kind of goes everywhere and it's so hard to water them. But I mean, they look so delicious. They look so delicious and stunning and beautiful. There we go. Put you back in your place. Oh, look at that. My Hoya linearis actually has a couple of peduncles, but I am, like, this plant always has peduncles, but it never blooms, so. My little Tordum, I don't know what she is doing, honestly. She's trying to push out a new leaf, but it's not looking that great. But her reservoir, oh, I see a cute little root. Look at that cutie. Can you see it? Can you see the cutie little root poking out of that drainage hole? Adorable, adorable. This one is another one that's in semi-hydro. And I had so many problems with this plant for some reason. I don't know why. Because like other people like have such an easy time with this plant, but for some reason, this thing rotted like 3 times on me, which is insane. And now I'm keeping her in semi-hydro, and so far she looks happy, even though she is pushing out that kind of weird janky looking leaf, but that's okay, that's okay. So I lifted you up so we can check out this situation up here, and this is the Scindapsus cuttings that I was talking about, and as you can see, it just looks sad and wilty, even though the sphagnum is completely, well, I guess it could use a little bit of water, so let me give it a little bit of water. But yeah, I do hope she'll perk up. I mean, if she doesn't, I obviously have, because this cutting came from this plant over here. This is the mother plant. And obviously there is, like, she is large and in charge. So I'm not worried if this cutting doesn't make it. But my goal for 2025, which was actually something I didn't mention in my goals video, is to bush out some of my plants. I talked about it in my update video that I want to bush out my Cebu Blue, but I also want to do it with some of my other trailing plants because I just want them to be like bushy and lush and delicious looking. She does have a yellow little leaf, so I'm just gonna go ahead and remove it and toss it on the floor. Okay, so let's see. I'm just gonna continue checking who needs water. I don't think she needs water. Her moss pole, I guess her moss pole could use some water. I try to water my moss poles when they're not completely dry, but when they still have some dampness in them, because if you water moss poles when they're like completely dry, it's a mess. It's a holy freaking mess because it becomes hydrophobic and then it like starts dripping everywhere and it goes into your substrate, and it's just not a cute situation. My white princess moss pole could also use some topping up, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give her some water. Let's see, my linearis, how is she doing? How are you doing, girl? I recently chopped her a little bit, gave her a little bit of a haircut, so, oh God, let's see, ooh. Oh, she could use some water, but look at these roots. Look at these delicious looking roots. There we go, drink up, girly. Sippy, sippy. And I'm gonna go ahead and put her back in her spot where she belongs and where she can be a gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful diva. I just love this plant, and I love when the sun hits her. Like, it just looks so magical. It's such a magical plant. If you don't have a Hoya linearis, just do yourself a favor and get a Hoya linearis. Even if you're not into Hoyas, just get the linearis. It's just such a wonderful experience. We're back on the floor, and my Hoya australis Lisa actually needs some water. So where did I put my water? Here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give her some water. This is truly a stunning Hoya. I love her so much. I would love for this thing to bloom this season. Like, I definitely think she is blooming size. There's a janky looking leaf. I don't know what's happening here. I'm just gonna remove this leaf. It's not thrips. Weird. Janky looking leaf. Oh well. Oh god, now I have sap all over me. Oh, I hate Hoya sap. It's one of the most annoying things ever. But yeah. Hoya australis Lisa, such a beautiful princess. I think that's gonna wrap up my little day of plant care. It's still daylight outside, so I actually want to go out and enjoy the sunny day. Thank you so much for accompanying me, and I hope you got something out of it. I hope your holidays have been well. I hope you're doing fine. I would love to hear your thoughts on any of the topics that I discussed in the comment section below. I love talking to you guys. It's one of my favorite parts of this whole YouTube thing. Like, if you want, subscribe. If you want, like, but I would really appreciate it if you left a comment, even if it was just saying hi. So yeah, I hope you have a super amazing, fabulous rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.